Let's talk about the spread node now. So to do that, like always, new scene, and let's go here to the logic view. Okay, the spread node you also can find in the toolbox under the world category, and then you can find the spread node here. Okay, so with the spreader, you basically get, if you drop it first, Ventuz will ask you if you want to use the spreader with a continue output, yes or no. So let's do yes for the first one. That's okay. Because then I can explain it directly what repeat and continue means. So the spreader is basically using one geometry and is repeating that or instances of that multiple times, basically without using more memory on your machine, right? So let's say I want to have here a cube, or let's use a torus. Let's put a torus here. And let's now check here our spread properties, right? So first thing, you have a position, rotation, the rotation center, scaling, scaling factor, scaling center, pretty much similar like on an axis. But here we have that special things. The other important one is here the spread count. So let's say I want to have at least 20, that's max. And then you can choose here how many you really want up to that max count, okay? So, and now if we have now already 20 references of this torus, right? We just don't see it because they are all on the same position because we didn't change anything here. So let's now slowly bring that guys up until we have something like a chain, right? So let's say 1.36, that's okay. And now let's also rotate it here over that Y position, Y rotation, right? And as you can see already, maybe let's put an axis here in front first and rotate that a bit. Let's call that again root. And now we rotate it a bit. Actually, not there. I want to rotate it over there. Yes. Let's bring it also a bit more here. So now you can see if I play here with that values, right, then you can create something like a chain, right? Things like that. Or if you move here the Y position, then this will also change accordingly, right? Or the Z position, things like that, right? Or let's play here with the other rotation, with the Z rotation. Let's also play here a little bit with the scaling, right? As you can see, this all adds up then. Exactly. You also have here the alpha, if you want to bring it out, or in the other direction, right? Then you can do it like that. Exactly. So this is a very nice tool to create, yeah, a little bit crazy, random object, messy things, basically. Okay, but anyway, let's get back here to 20, and maybe we put this guy here to 90 and this one to 0 to 0. So now let's say, what is the continue output, right? So the continue output is basically the position saves the position of the last referenced whatever object you put here to the repeat, right? So let's say you want now that maybe, let's turn it a bit around. You want now that here on this last string, you want that there is a sphere, for example, right? Or a cube. So then let's put here a sphere on that continue, and then you can see here that sphere already. Let's also put a material that we have a little bit a different color. Let's put here maybe a red sphere, right? And also let's put an axis to scale it a bit larger. So, and now you can see, so that's basically the continue output, right? So whatever you do now with this spreader, yeah, if you make more, for example, that last guy will always be now our continue object in that case, right? So this is with the continue output. So let's do now the same without a continue output. Let's use a spread again, spread node, and we don't want to have that continue output now. So let's use now a cube. And let's put that cube here. And let's say, okay, you want to have many cubes. By default, you have 2, but I want to have, let's say, 20. And you see, we get maximum 5 because the max on the spread here is limited, is the limiter basically. So let's put a 20. Let's put that also 20, right? Or maybe let's make it 15. And let's see now what else we can do. As you can see, position, yeah, that's basically the offset between each of that referenced cubes. And let's also see if you select here mirror, right? Then it will also mirroring to the opposite direction basically. Um, then you can choose here if you want to have the first cube or not. Um, exactly. So what you also can do, you can add more spreaders, yeah, in a row basically. So let's say this is now your first row, but you want to have more. So I don't want to have a continue output here. And here I want to have, let's say 5, and I want to have it mirrored as well. And I want to bring that down, right? So now you can see with this, you can create pretty easy, pretty quick, some, yeah, large geometry setups basically, okay? But again, be aware, we're just talking about one cube, okay? So if you make this cube, for example, now you give it a material, red, yeah, then or whatever color, it doesn't matter. Let's use another one now. Maybe let's use a green one. Yeah, so all of them are the same cubes. They are just a reference basically of that one. So the same with if I put here now an axis in front of that cube, right? And I rotate that cube. Sorry, I rotate that cube over the set. You see, they are all, yes, it's one cube, which then gets referenced via that spreader. You also have some options here. For example, let's turn off, let's delete here this guy, and let's also delete that first spreader. So you also have here some options for randomize, right? So this randomize is basically saying if you say position, right, to mirror. That means all the cubes will get a value between 0 and the value you use here, right? So if you really want to have something randomized, you have to increase this value here. Let's make it 20, for example, right? If you make it single, then it's only affecting one side, right? So we basically kind of turn off that mirror with that, right? Um, exactly, and you of course can do that with the position. You can do that with the rotation. With the rotation, nothing will happen right now. Let's turn this off. Actually, something will happen because we just tell our node, hey, uh, give each cube, each reference cube, a rotation between value 0 and 0, right? Because we don't have any rotation here yet. But as you can see, and if we go closer here, and let's also turn on here our mirror again, now you can see that all of our cubes have a randomized rotation between 0 and the values we set up here for X, Y, and the Z rotation. Okay, that's all about the spread node.